Today in our history lesson, we are gonna know a little bit more about the kings and queens of ancient Egypt. There have been many queens and kings reign in ancient Egypt. Some were quietly while others took upon themselves to bask into the glory of power. These powerful women tried to ensure their legacy would last an eternity, some intentionally and others by accident. Perhaps, perhaps we will never know the truth. These queens use their intelligence and feminine attributes to get what they want. Some become so powerful they literally shock up the foundation and the world they live in. Today, we're gonna learn first a little bit more about Cleopatra. As queen of ancient Egypt, Cleopatra is one of the most famous female rulers in history. Cleopatra's family ruled Egypt for more than 100 years before she was born, around the year 69 BC. The stories and myths surrounding Cleopatra's tragic life inspired a number of books, movies, and plays, including Antony and Cleopatra by Shakespeare. Cleopatra has become one of the most well-known ancient Egyptians, but perhaps her beauty wasn't her biggest asset. It was said that Cleopatra's intelligence far outweighed her looks. According to some scholars, Cleopatra was supposedly be an irresistible person by her conversation, and it was written that she was bewitched by her character. It was said that she was a pleasure to be around, but because she was not considered to be a beauty, she had to rely on her intelligence to get to the top of the power chain. She spoke as many as dozen languages and was educated in mathematics, philosophy, oratory, and astronomy. There is also evidence that Cleopatra wasn't as physical striking as once believed. There is proof that antique coins there is a portrait of her showing mainly features and a large hooked nose. Some historians contend that she intentionally portrayed herself as a masculine, as a display of strength. It's well known that Cleopatra's maleficent speaking voice and irresistible charm was what made her so desirable. Now, let's talk about another very famous Egyptian, is Nefertiti. Nefertiti, an Egyptian queen, was well known by her beauty. Nefertiti ruled alongside her husband, the pharaoh Akhenaten. Nefertiti, whose name means a beauty woman has come, was the queen of Egypt and wife of the pharaoh Akhenaten during the year 14th century BC. Some historians have even proclaimed her the most beautiful woman in the world. Whatever people have said about her, nobody knows what happened to the queen, because she will forever remain a mystery. Her body, when she died, was never found, and there's many theories how she died. Little bit is known about the origins of Nefertiti, but her legacy of beauty and power continue to intrigue people until today. Her name, an Egyptian that means beautiful woman who's come, is being a symbol of beauty all over the world. It's a symbol of beauty in creams. It's a symbol of beauty in many, many different aspects. Another very famous female person in the ancient Egypt, it was the Queen Hatshepsut, the only female pharaoh. As the pharaoh was a title only for a man, she became the only female person who became a pharaoh. But she was so unique and intelligent. She used various strategies to legitimize her position as a pharaoh. Not only she proclaimed herself as a pharaoh and fabricated a coherency with her father, but she also tried to make herself more godlike, because the invention of stories with the attachment to God, she always proclaimed that God came to her and he told her that she was the one, the elected, and she was elected to be the pharaoh. Now, let's pass to another very famous figure of the Egyptian history, Tutankhamun, or well known as the King Tut. He's the most famous and instantly recognized pharaoh in the modern world. His golden sarcophagus is where the ancient Egyptians were buried, is well known because it's all fabricated in gold. His golden sarcophagus is now a symbol of almost synonymous with Egypt. His name means living image of God. He died, but some people claim it that he was murdered by some members of his family. But years ago, in 1922, when the archaeologist Howard Carter discovered his almost intact tomb in the Valley of the Kings, he became more and more famous because it took 10 years for these archaeologists to empty all that stuff that it was buried with him in one of the Great Pyramids. Today, Tutankhamun is recognized as an important pharaoh who returned order to a land left in chaos by his father's political religious reforms, and who would not have made further impressive contributions to Egypt. Tutankhamun's power is equally famous and recognized as a stepson of Tutankhamun's mother. Stop.